As part of my history honors thesis, I spent the summer doing the bulk of my research for this project under the guidance of Dr. Walter McDougall and Dr. Kathy Pice. My thesis, which examines the role of Jonathan Pollard within the context of the U.S.-Israel relationship, has proven to be more interesting and more complicated than I had imagined. First, who is Jonathan Pollard? Jonathan J. Pollard is an American Jew who worked for naval intelligence. In November 1985, he was arrested for espionage, which he conducted on Israel's behalf. Although he was spying for a friendly country, with which the United States shares a special relationship, he was sentenced to life imprisonment in March 1987. In 2015, Pollard was released on parole after years of activism on his behalf by American Jewish leaders, American officials, and Israeli officials, and in December 2020, he immigrated with his wife to Israel as a free man. His case is still controversial, as many of the details remain classified and therefore unknown to the public. Although the United States and Israel maintained a close relationship throughout the years that Pollard was in American custody, the affair was an awkward stain on their relations. Pollard was first arrested in 1985, termed the Year of the Spy, in which over a dozen other spies were caught in the United States. Most of these, as you would probably expect, were Soviet or Chinese spies. Why would Israel, which is so close to the United States that the two are said to have a special relationship, feel the need to spy on its friend and patron? And why did Jonathan Pollard, who received an unprecedented life sentence for his crimes, become a household name shrouded by enduring controversy, while many of those other spies have been largely forgotten by the masses? As is the case with most intelligence-related matters, nobody can be certain. Some claim that the Pentagon was denying Israel information vital to the latter's national security, while others believe that Pollard was merely a greedy wannabe and Israel took advantage of him. Those are just two of many hypotheses. My thesis argues that these questions cannot be answered in a vacuum. Rather, one must examine the foundations of the special relationship and the way it operates in order to best understand the Pollard affair. Throughout the summer, I read through a number of books and journal articles to provide me with the academic background to delve into the matter. I read about the moral and strategic roots of the bilateral ties, American Jewry, differing Israeli and American values, and more. The real bulk of my research, of course, was primary sources, which were mostly newspaper articles. I analyzed these for both content and tone, focusing on adjectives and descriptors to gauge opinions on Pollard, Israel, the American government, etc. Finally, I have consolidated my ideas into 3 chapters, or ideas for 3 chapters, which will guide me as I write the paper throughout the fall semester. This research process, along with guidance from my mentors, has sharpened my analytical skills and has taught me how and what to look for when confronted with a seemingly endless mass of information, and it was seemingly endless for a while. Not only have I learned about the Pollard affair, the reaction to it by the United States government, American Jewry, and the Israelis themselves, plus the domestic and diplomatic context in which the scandal unfolded, I have also learned how better to think critically about current events. I am grateful to Dr. McDougall, Dr. Pice, and CURF for all their help.